All living organisms need oxygen to survive.
Yeah, millions of people and many more organisms, big and small, take in oxygen every second.
But have you ever wondered why the oxygen in the air never runs out? This is because oxygen goes through a consumption and replenishing cycle.
Yes, this is the oxygen cycle. Let us see how the oxygen cycle works. The oxygen cycle has a big part in the existence of life on Earth. About 20% of air we breathe contains oxygen, which is the second most abundant gas in the atmosphere.
It is a biological process which helps in controlling the oxygen level by moving through the three main spheres of the Earth, which are atmosphere, the air, lithosphere, the Earth's crust and land, and the biosphere, which are plants and animals.
There are processes which involve taking in oxygen from the atmosphere and the process which releases the oxygen back.
The first step is photosynthesis, or the release of oxygen in the atmosphere. Photosynthesis is the process in which plants use carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight to create energy, which is glucose, and release oxygen into the atmosphere.
The plants take in carbon dioxide from their stomata, a cell on the back of every leaf, and take in water from the roots.
This is how the oxygen is released into the atmosphere. Most of the oxygen released from photosynthesis comes from ocean algae, which is around 90% of the oxygen used.
This is the reason why we must keep all water bodies clean. This oxygen is used for various purposes. One such process is respiration, or more simply, breathing.
Respiration. All living organisms breathe in oxygen to obtain energy. This is called respiration.
This process takes in oxygen to obtain energy by breaking down glucose and gives out carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is released back into the atmosphere. Oceanic exchange. The oceans exchange oxygen and circulate it.
The organisms in the water, which are the aquatic organisms, utilize this oxygen for breathing and release carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere.
Decomposition. When the organisms die, they are broken down mostly by bacteria and fungi. Oxygen is used in the breaking down process, and carbon dioxide is released back into the atmosphere.
These organisms are decomposed into fossil fuels like coal and petroleum. Combustion. This one is the maximum source of carbon dioxide, and as we know, it is not a naturally occurring process.
These fossil fuels are burned up and they release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere.
Rusting. Rusting is the formation of oxides, which can also be called oxidation.
This process, metals like iron or alloy rust when they are exposed to moisture and oxygen for an extended period of time.
This creates new compounds of oxides formed by the combination of oxygen with the metal.
The important point to note here is that the only source of oxygen to the earth are the plants.
So take care of plants and aquatic life to have a continuous supply of oxygen and to not break the oxygen cycle.
Now we know about the oxygen cycle, and keep watching for more natural cycles of the earth.
That's us tapping out!